Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone here in the month of May. And hello, Callum. How are you doing today?
Hello, Marcin. I'm good. How are you?
Good. As I've mentioned off the record, I'm quite chilling by the end of this month and probably mentally awaiting June and all the activities, travel, and all the other things that probably will drain me again for another month later. So that's the plan ahead of the plan. And what about you? Where are you?
I
How the
am
things are going?
not in Australia right now. I'm in the UK for a bit. I was in Norway last week for NDC Oslo. Got a few weeks here, and then Codegarden, and then I'll be heading back. So doing a bit of a tour.
Yeah, how was on the NDC Oslo? I saw a lot of familiar faces as well from the Umbraco community joining the event, right?
NDC Oslo was good. I mean, I've spoken there like 4, maybe 5 times now, and it's always a great event. But this is the first time that Umbraco has been involved because they had a booth this year. They sponsored, and it was nice to talk to some people about Umbraco and have some familiar faces around as well.
Yeah, that's nice. By the way, we are testing some beta features of StreamYard. So that's why also you saw some comments on the intro, and hopefully you will see also some comments now if you will be writing them. So if you are watching us live, just to prove that we are live this time as well, you can test it by writing some comments.
Yeah, that's going to catch us out, isn't it? If we ever do a non-live live episode, not that we've ever done one of those before.
No,
but
never.
You'll know because the live comments won't be on. Damn.
And again, we can enable it, we can disable it, we can decide. So if we'll ever do something crazy like pre-recorded episode, maybe we can talk that, oh, we won't be enabling comments today just to not distract ourselves. That will be another argument towards easier recognition of the pre-recorded episodes. But if there's a conference season, I saw a lot of events. And again, there is a big event ended now in Poland called InfoShare. Some of my team members went there. It's the biggest CE event, so it seems like May, June, they are quite attractive for the events like that, and we will see more of them for sure, and we'll talk about it as well. But yeah, let's start from some Umbraco stuff. Because as I was collecting some links for this month episode, it was the same start of the month as previously. So another start of the month, another security advisory, exactly. So let me share my screen and we can talk about it. This time we had some security patch for Umbraco 10 and Umbraco 13. Of course, from the supported versions, because all of the unsupported versions are not officially receiving security patches.
But also are definitely susceptible to this issue. So, I mean, if you don't have an upgraded, if you've got a V12 or a V11 site, then here's your nudge to go and upgrade that. But yeah,
there were some kind of interesting findings here, and I don't remember now, but I had some off the record discussions with some community members, and they were pointing to some other tags and commits that were affecting some security issues that were bundled together here. So there is a lot of work happening to improve security, and again, for us it's great that findings are fixed. But yeah, it's become a routine to patch the sites, and I even started. I don't know if you saw this, Callum, or anyone else seen these blogs from. I can't remember who wrote it, but someone wrote how to utilize Dependabot on DevOps pipelines. That was amazing.
Matt Wise has a good article about how to use Dependabot to not only notify you when a patch is available, but also apply the patch.
Exactly.
It works with NetCore, not with the V8 and prior sites. We'll find the article, pop the link in the description. Actually,
I did use this article, and some of our teams were already exploring how to set it up efficiently. Because again, it is it's a small work to do it right now, and there is a lower risk to break things, but it will be just a pull request prepared, and then it's even less work to make it alive. So patch your sites. That's the summary, and we'll see.
I don't know if you've got a link for this, but there was an Umbraco Forms security patch as well last month. I think so. I think Umbraco Forms 13.4.2 came out, and that's got the security patch. But,
Okay.
I believe that's the case.
No, we'll see, and of course, if it will be linked still, and great, you know, if you are connected to the feeds, it's already popping up, and it's there, so there's no excuses to not bump up the libraries now. And I try to develop the habit of just upgrading everything what's highlights as new, and as soon as it's not breaking things, then it's okay. But sooner or later it will break things. But
I did the exact same thing. So the Tuesday that this came out, I had a site that I was upgrading from like 13.7 to 13.8, and I did the upgrade, and I was like, oh, it's still showing the new version available in the back office. What's going on here? Is something broken? And I checked, and I was like, damn, as I've just upgraded, a new version's out, and it's a security patch, so it needs to be applied. Oh, I'll go back and redo it then.
Yeah, I thought maybe the version was not updated or something like that, but then yeah, I often notice something similar. And yeah, as Richard mentioned here, there was a Forms security patch. We'll try to link it.
Umbraco's policy, I think, for notifying you of security patches is medium and high severity. There is communications around low severity. There's not, though I think they should be still listed on the security center on umbraco.com. So we'll find some details and share that. But
yeah, exactly. So that was the first advisory and update, and then we had some more interesting and bigger updates and releases. And it was in the whole month, it was 2 release candidates of Umbraco 16. And as usually in this release and blog, Andy writes up the summary and overview, the changes, and there's a lot. Of course, there is some support being brought back, some support being left behind. As for example, TinyMC is no longer shipped with Umbraco at all, and there are some other enhancements and changes. What I like the most, and maybe I can start from it, is this property level permissions that was something previously being configured or locked in the code itself, or there was a lot of various ways of handling that, but now we have it here. What about you, Callum? Have you checked?
It's an interesting one because this is a feature that people have asked for before. People have made packages before to do protected properties, and I like the idea that it's in the core. But it's probably the first time, maybe in 10 years, that the sort of property model has changed slightly, in that you've now got a bit of control over who can see or do things. And it did make me think, how far do we go with this? I know in Umbraco 16 as well, one of the big features is segmentation, which is new and is actually a thing now. And again, it's the first time Umbraco's bringing a bit more complexity to the core product for the first time. And maybe they are on the surface just a flag, you know, on off, or it's something you have to plug in yourself. But the core's becoming more capable and more complex, and I am torn about how I feel about it. I think it's obviously a good thing to expand the product in that way. I just don't know if it should all be there by default, like those permissions things. I don't know. And people are obviously then going to want granular permission as well, aren't they? They're going to want, I want to be able to make it, you know, per user group or whatever.
And at the same time, this, as I was thinking, it was all needed by Umbraco Engage, first of all, and also the other products and lines of utilizing Umbraco. So it might be a wise decision, or again, the best decision that was made at the time, to move it to the core instead of transition over the logic to the product, where again, it might be now used for other purposes and other products, other libraries and stuff like that. But yeah, it is getting even better. And yeah, with the permissions, still, I haven't checked 16 yet, but I still, when I work on membership functionalities, and then I need to go through the nodes and then work with the permissions on nodes, what is enabled, what is disabled for what kind of members. That's still something what might, again, then be a nice to have update on some point. And I know that Umbraco was looking at it for years as well. So maybe now is the time as well. So yeah, and plenty of more updates here. I scanned through the blog post just a while ago. Again, it is documented.
There's another thing that's maybe not featured in here, but is quite cool, which is that you can do sort of more specific node level permissions, or there is actually an extension point for registering them. So in 16, you can say, prevent this node from being deleted, or this section from being deleted, prevent, only allow one node of this type to exist, for example. You can actually bring some granular permissions, stuff that's been done with packages in the past as well. I see a little debate going on in the chat about whether segmentation's new or not. I understand it's been there since 8, but it's before was way more complicated to use. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lines of code you had to write yourself. It's good to see it's now actually, like natively supported. You implement a service and it just happens. But Ken, there's Soren referred to Ken's blog post. Maybe we can put that down below as well. Really good, and does show that there's like 3 lines of code realistically to get segmentation as an option in the back office. I'm still not 100% sure I like the UI, because if you've got, maybe there's a screenshot in the blog, maybe there's not. When you enable segments, it pops in the sort of language drop down, it pops all of your segments as an option to go and select them and flip between them. And if you've got 10 segments and 10 languages, you end up with 100 options appearing in that drop down. It's kind of messy and horrible. So I don't know. I'm sure the Engage team will have done something nice with it. There's the segments post. It's very little code.
Yep, and this is the way how it's handled.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. So your segment there appears many, many, many times if you've got lots of segments and lots of languages.
And there was also a presentation on UK Fest about how it can go crazy. Right. Yeah. So it will be a challenge to make a UI work here in case of really advanced segmentation, personalization. But it will be a different type of challenge to solve.
Exactly.
We'll see. There's a lot of updates, and again, it is RC, so as usually up for testing, up for finding the issues, and I'm sure all of the people who were looking for those features are now happily testing and exploring this. But it looks way better, and I did have a chance to play around with some back office content work on Umbraco 15, and it was different. It felt different, but still it worked well and quite fast, definitely faster than previous back offices.
We had the conversation the other day of we've got a site coming up that is an upgrade, and how do we tackle this? Do we approach it as we're going to go to 16, because otherwise we're going to have to tell them they've got to do a big upgrade again in a year's time from 13, or do we try to 13 and then just have a go at going from 13 to 16 and see what breaks, see what happens? They don't use too many external packages. It's a lot of core property editors and stuff. It might make sense. And if they're going from 8, our viewers, 13, I still believe, has the more polished editor experience. I still think it's nicer to use, but compared to 8, maybe 16 is not so bad. So perhaps we could take them, and they're on an earlier version of 8. It's like 8.6 or something. Take them from 8.6 up to new grid or new block grid, new block list on 16. Might that be better than what they were used to? Possibly. So we might take the plunge. We might do it.
I'm still keeping my policy, waiting for 17. So that's the policy. 17 should be the version that will convince many more people, and it's not that far away in time.
No,
it is. It's half a year. That's Umbraco 16, and let us people know if you use it, if you have some feelings about it, and if you will start or upgrade your projects to Umbraco 16. Sorry, I mentioned 16 is twice as good as 8. That makes sense. It should be like that. Cool. The next information and update is from Skrift team, and we've been talking about this birthday and celebration last month, if I remember correctly, because the Skrift team celebrated 10 years of operations, and they released a special issue where all of the great team members summarized their 10 years from their perspectives. So it is a decade. It is a lot of the years, but damn it, 10 it's twice as 5. And I was recently thinking what was happening 5 years ago. And what about 10? Callum,
Yeah,
what
it's crazy.
were you doing 10 years ago?
I don't know. I would have been at Clogwork.
2014,
I
2015.
don't know. Yeah, not sure. These 3 articles are lovely, and they reminisce about some articles that had really made an impact on them, and articles including Tim Payne's article about burnout, which was an article that really sticks with me. Also, some call outs to some really good technical articles and some stuff in more recent times as well. And it did make me realize just how much knowledge has actually been shared on Skrift over the years. And when we started umbraCoffee, what would that have been? 2016, 2017? I can't remember.
Something like that.
Long time ago. Felt like Skrift had been around 10 years at that point. So
yeah, that's true.
It's so much in so little time, relatively, but also, hard to comprehend.
Yeah, and once again, big kudos and congrats to the whole team and everyone who supported the Skrift over the years, because again, it is a tough piece of work to make it again consistent, ongoing, attractive, and such a high quality as it was over the years. And yeah, I wrote one article, if I remember, or more years ago, and it was such well edited then, before ChatGPT and translation engines existed.
Yes.
So it was
Or you
quite
could just
nice.
tell an AI to write it for you.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that I can write or speak this kind of English like it was in my article. So that was amazing work by the team behind the scenes, not myself. But that's crazy. And yeah, that's a huge accomplishment. And yeah, time flies. So 10 more years. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Cool. The next update's about the community teams. We had some announcements this month with the new upgraded version of sustainability team for 2025-2026. Martin summarized the efforts from the previous team members and announced the new 4 members of the team who will be working and doing some explorations on the sustainability levels. So there's quite a couple of familiar faces. Imran, Dennis,
I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that Imran's picture in the whole team picture is just a bush.
Imran hopefully would like to join also the privacy team of Umbraco, because it's really hard to find his pictures. But yeah, it's really nice to see those familiar faces, because again, we know Imran, we know Dennis. I don't know the rest of the team that much, but I know that all of them were really actively involved in sustainability topics. So it's not an accident that they joined the team and will be working on it. So really looking forward to it. Still a hot topic around the web. So it will be really great to see the efforts and the results on what it can bring. So that's the sustainability team. And we have another upgrade of the docs team for 2025.
The docs team reincarnated.
Yes, exactly. So all of those friendly people will be helping us out on documentation level. And I can say recently I was working on some documentation for a couple of the clients' projects. I explored a lot of the tools, a lot of the ways of optimizing it and automating it. And someone shared a link on
it was Shannon.
On MVP's channel. Yeah. On semi-automated or even fully automated documentation generated based on the GitHub repo. So if we will start with the great code or good enough code, then documentation will be a really nice side effect. And that was amazing. That was awesome. So it can definitely help the team, and hopefully the team will utilize those helps to make the documentation even better or easier. Not just a bunch of words, but something what is truly useful. So yeah, that's a updated, reincarnated team of Umbraco docs.
It's also good to see Richard on that team, because he obviously worked hard on getting some Astro docs together for delivery API,
exactly.
and kind of coming at it from a slightly different perspective, which is lovely. And I know that Phil recently has been playing with some AI things he's been posting about them online. And I think nowadays, rather than, we need to embrace these LLMs and AI in our workflows, and actually having docs that are well structured for AI could be interesting. Maybe a perspective that Phil can bring. Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. definitely. So we'll all benefit from having this documentation team for sure. And that was about the updates. Now let's talk about events. We've mentioned that a little bit already, but there was also the Southwest event this month, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that was
also
directly after our last episode. I think it was the day after.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw some blog posts, not blog posts, some tweets and updates from the event, but a Candid contribution team did a live episode from there that I have on the links and list.
We mean Lottie. Lottie did the live episode.
Yep. Where is the scene that I wanted to share? This one. Yes.
There we go.
So yes. So for the best summary probably will be to go through that. There was a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people from the community out there. So I'm sure there is a lot of things that were spoken about Umbraco out there. And there was also Umbraco Accessibility Day in the meantime. It was on 15th. If anyone attended, because I didn't, I was sharing the link. I was having the meetings all day. If anyone attended, please let us know. We have this beta functionality on the screen, so you can summarize it for all the other viewers and watchers later. But it seemed to have a really nice agenda there, and a lot of people talked about it.
I dialed into one or two of the sessions, and it was good, very well ran, and it was a very good discussion about like how we can tailor digital products and just the ways of working online to people with neurodivergence. And it was fascinating things that, talking about long forms, and these are things that everybody struggles with. And my big takeaway was accessibility is not just helping one group, it's actually good for everybody. If we can make long forms less taxing, more fun to fill in, or more motivational to fill in, that's a win for everyone. If we can make the make it so that we're not being getting content overload when we're looking at articles or trying to read documentation, for example, again, it's a win for everyone. So that was my big takeaway.
Yeah, I did have a lot of talks about accessibility over the last month, and funny enough, Łukasz, who I work with, he did a lot of front-end work for a very big Polish organization back in the days where accessibility was there a crazy factor of getting into the market, and now we spoke and tried to sell it for the customers as something what they need to invest in. And recently I see a little shift, because the customers are coming to us and telling us that they need it because it was required somewhere, or someone mentioned
legislation, new EU legislation, and also recently legislation in the US has made accessibility much more of a focus for people, which is a good thing. It's a shame it took legal routes to make it make it happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, any argument is great if really the focus will be there, because it was often abandoned, I think, amongst the projects. And again, some people had it as a practice to think about it. Some people completely forgot about it, and didn't think about it at all. And then it seems like the website is not completely accessible or readable by readers or things. And then 30% of internet, or even more, I don't know the recent statistics, can't use it, basically. So that's crazy. But yeah, I would love to hear more about it and love to explore more. So definitely topic to explore. And now we have a set of events ahead of us. I don't know, not all of the meetups are here on the Umbraco calendar, because Callum, I know you are going to some next week, for example.
Next week. Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Umbraco meetup's back for the first time in quite a long time. I'm doing a talk, and I'm doing the same talk in Leeds the day after, so that's all good. And I think they're trying to find a way of live streaming the Leeds one, so if you can't find a way to join, then you can always watch the live stream. This picture down here is not actually me on the Leeds one. This definitely is absolutely not me. But I think Phil asked if he could use that picture, and I was like, yeah, it's close enough, that'll do.
But yeah, it's a polished version of you through AI or something.
Improved. I'll be talking about building composable architectures with modern .NET features as a different way of looking at building Umbraco sites.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a set of meetups prior to Codegarden, and of course, as it was mentioned here, the Codegarden is also on, not that far away in time. The agenda was announced for quite a while. There were a couple of blog posts flying around with some packing lists for 2025 edition, and I bookmarked them somewhere on my notes to revisit and see if I won't miss anything. But Joe wrote a really nice list that might be helpful for everyone who are going there for the first time or for the next time. And the ProWorks team also wrote something similar from their side, highlighting also Joe's blog post. So there is a lot of helping hands. But if we want to grab some clothes, I also noticed that Owen was working on some community shirts and versions, and there was a lot of discussions on how to bring it to Codegarden.
Yeah, shipping is nightmare and expensive.
Yeah, but there was a free shipping day somewhere over the week to UK, and some community members, Owen included, offered to handle a couple of the t-shirts if someone wanted. But check it out, and I need to check it as well. But there was this kind of t-shirt as well, somewhere with this graphic, which looks really nice with a lot of Umbraco tags or buzzwords, however we want to name them. So that's nice. What happened also around the event? There was a nominations for Umbraco Awards announced. So there's a lot of projects that will be discussed or verified ahead of announcements. We had some behind the scenes discussions about Umbraco Awards. We won't bring them up here, but we have some things to observe over the awards ceremony. And hopefully we'll talk with some, not nominees, but what's the name of the
winners? People that win.
Winners. Winners, yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
With some of the winners over the Codegarden umbraCoffee. So yeah, check this out. And if you are looking for some inspirations, some of the information about the nominations and projects or websites that are up to discussions for the becoming winners, check this out. What I'm also looking for is an MVP announcement on the keynote, and what I was looking around the web this month was also blog posts from Owen about his MVP journey and his story. We had a lot of discussions back and forth of what MVP titles means for some people, for everyone who was awarded, who wants to be awarded. And it's I thought that it will be right and nice to highlight this blog and go through the history of Owen's MVP, especially that we'll be looking at some new MVPs this on Codegarden as well. And I can't remember numbers now, but it was somewhere.
I don't think we're allowed to say the numbers, Marcin.
No, not.
Pretty sure that's not been publicly said anywhere.
Okay. I want. Thanks to my bad memory, then, that I do not remember those numbers at all.
What a change of roles, where I'm the one telling you not to say something. Crazy.
I never told you to not say something. Then. But yeah, that's an evolution of our umbraCoffee for sure. we are getting mature. That's worrying. That's worrying.
It was only last month that I leaked like 3 things.
That's definitely worrying. Cool, but that's the blog post, and last but not least, couple of the releases I wanted to mention and we wanted to talk about. One package that brought a lot of attention, and I think it's really amazing. And again, huge kudos to Rick for working it out. Rick is on fire with creating quite useful and amazing packages now. This is Content Audit. And after all of the previous work from Rick and the teams and people around those packages, there's a next amazingly looking and amazingly functional dashboard that we can install to Umbraco. And as it was said here, it has been nearly 6 months in the making. Yeah. So that's amazing. And it goes through the content pages, audits them all, and reports findings related to SEO requirements. There's some behind the scenes here, but generally it's amazing. So it is the...
It is quite like... It reminds me of... was it Pre-Flight that Nathan Wolf made?
Pre-Flight, exactly.
I think it was, or was it V8? I don't know, but like effectively, running some reports, running some tests, and saying whether you're giving your page a score. But this is a lot more comprehensive, and I think it's kind of pre-flight in reverse, in that it's looking outside in at your page rather than pre-flight, which was just looking at your content and making sure you completed certain checks. But this looks very cool. I wonder how much of this information is, well, I don't know. Does every content editor need to see this? Possibly not, but I guess that's why it's
Probably
in its own section as well. And there's quite in-depth reports, but it's a great way to go and look at a high-level overview of your performance on your site, as in the SEO performance. I like it. It's very cool.
Yeah, me too. And to be fair, I like this because I use a lot of WordPress still behind the scenes. That might be a huge statement, but I use it a lot, and I quite like it, even though I hate it when I see the scoring of the pages when it's being worked on. And there is a lot of SEO packages, checkers, and stuff like that. But always when I speak with people who write things on WordPress, they always look at it. So if you have it here and you see that, oh, this page has a nice score, or maybe if you are putting a lot of other words, but by not a coincidence, but intentionally, then at least you agree that, okay, this score will drop off because I want to write, I don't know, longer article or something like that. But generally, I think it's quite useful, and I like the fact that we have this content app, however we'll name it, next to the page. And we can see it. I dreamed about something similar with Lighthouse at some point, and I know that some of that was done somewhere back in the days. But generally, this is even better because it's more tailored, more focused on SEO. And if you would like to, I know, performance one, accessibility one, we have the accessibility dashboard too. So it's really getting into the direction of having specific content apps available for specific purposes. And if we can control granularly who has access to what, that's amazing. That's amazing work. So
very cool. They're called workspace apps now, Marcin. They're not
workspace.
Workspace apps in the new back office. But I don't know. I will forever call them context apps because I refuse to call them content apps.
Me too. Me too. that's why I have
apps now.
Okay, that's good to know. But it looks awesome, and looking forward to more updates. And similar with previous dashboards, it's definitely landing on must-haves on my list when it comes to the packages to be used. Other releases, there were a lot of them, to be honest. I didn't even try to list them out, but there was some kind of nice enhancements for Umbraco forms from Marcus and Newsletter Studio, integrating forms with Newsletter Studio itself. Some CRM packages that integrates the data in Umbraco, but not ready for production use yet. And we've mentioned rollback previewer last time, which was my highlight last month when it comes to the packages.
Yes. And if you didn't see yet, there is a new series that the DevRel team have started on the YouTube channel, where they're doing I can't remember the name. Seb or Lottie, you'll have to say it in the chat, and we'll make sure the link's down below. It came out yesterday. YouTube video. It's like a deep dive, DevRel deep dive, I think is what it's called. And they look into different packages or community contributions. And one of them this month was the DevRel deep dive. Cool, I remembered. And they looked at the visual rollback work that's been done. So very cool.
Nice. I haven't seen that. That's definitely something what we'll want to highlight. And this is the link.
You found it.
That we are live. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, we'll keep it in the links, and looking for more like that. Because as it was previously said, not every package can be easily installed, and this would be really good to see it being working. Nice. And two more updates, and my list is over. One is view profile in May, and it's Sherry Gregory, who became a community change maker from starting as Codegarden attendee, and it's highlighting the activity around the Umbraco Down Under festival, because Sherry is from Coben and Australia, of course, and working with Umbraco for 20 years. So that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And as usually, the whole story, whole involvement, activities, and everything, I won't be spoiling a lot. Just take a look on the article and say hi to Sherry. And yeah, amazing identity. Again, that's something what I keep admiring still.
I did a talk at the start of this month in the same space in the Microsoft Reactor, and you don't realize how bland that space is without all of the artwork they put up. So they did a very good job to give it a nice feel and a nice identity. It's very, very blank white space otherwise.
Yeah, lighting and placket. Nice. And last article, not article, the update was a little bit cleanup. There was a lot of cleanups on GitHub repositories. I had some notifications that I got removed from plenty of repositories. So it was a lot of cleanups too. And now also the contrib branches are deleted. So for all the contributors and all the people who wanted to PR back things and work on the CMS, and not only, there are some new main branches that are default for HQ and external contributions.
Yeah, so contrib has gone. That's no longer the place to branch from, it's main. And version-specific branches are also gone mostly. So I used to use that quite a lot when I needed to go and look at the code for a certain version. But you can't do that anymore. Instead, you've got to use the tags. So you can go into tags, search your specific version. Every release is tagged with that version. You can look at the code for that at that point. But yeah, there's no like V12 dev branch anymore. They're gone.
Yeah,
I believe.
Okay. I was using them as well to jump off quickly to something what was to be tested on specific version. But then we still have a tags and everything else to grab the version specific things. So that's it's always better to remove branches. That's what I say amongst the team members. I did a lot of cleanups recently myself, and nothing brings me more joy than deleting things. So
I've been working on some repos recently where people have like an allergy to deleting branches. And I deleted something like 200 branches that had no changes. They weren't ahead of any of the main branches on this repo. Just delete all.
And that's a nice feature request to some Git platforms to be able to select the whole folder or the whole tree, right? That would be useful.
Yeah, or just like delete everything that's stale or something would be great.
Yeah, all they're done.
Yeah, if
that would be quite
if branch has existed for that long and it's never been merged, it's clearly not needed. You know.
Yeah. But also, a lot of developers wants to have a lot of branches, and I think again there are two camps, and probably it's same like with tabs and spaces battles. So, yeah, I'm against branches, but I fight it a lot with a lot of people who loves branching, and that's probably a big battle to have. And that was all from the links. I don't know if we probably missed a lot. So people tell us more about things that might be worth highlighting next month. But next month we'll be at Codegarden. So we'll have a live.
We say next month. It's in 3 weeks today.
3 weeks.
Codegarden will be over. So it's actually in less than 3 weeks. We'll be seeing everyone. Yeah, we've got umbraCoffee live on the Thursday. Thursday? Is it Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
That's live on Thursday. Come and join us. I think we're in the usual room that we've been in previously, and we've got some special prizes to give away, and we've got we just want to chat to people. So come and say hi.
Yeah, I think it's always worth to remember that it's usually our highlight of the year. This kind of live umbraCoffees.
Oh yeah,
and it's always amazing to see you in real life, because we cannot see all of you here, and it can be easily changed there. And of course, a lot of the people are attending Codegarden, so hopefully it will be a great way to celebrate anniversary of Umbraco itself. Then everything what happens at Codegarden, because it will be already a Thursday afternoon, so we will know a lot. And we will be able to highlight a lot of the talks as well that we
Yeah.
hopefully will enjoy this year.
And you'll be there from Wednesday to Friday, Marcin?
Yes, Wednesday midday, because I'm flying in on Wednesday morning, straight after Justin Timberlake concert. So that will be awesome. I will be boost already, and then I'm coming back from Friday because we have a company event in Aarhus.
Lovely.
So I will be staying in Denmark until the end of the weekend.
I'll be there on the Sunday, as in the prior Sunday, and I'll be there the whole week. So come say hi. Come say hi.
Exactly, and looking forward to it. As I was mentioning earlier, it was probably my mind is already counting down to it, so I'm charging the energy to enjoy. And looking forward to it. We'll definitely highlight a lot of things there, and we'll see if we'll do another wrap up by the end of the month.
Of course. Post Codegarden umbraCoffee as well.
Post Codegarden blues. So we'll be all sad looking back. But that's the plan for the next month. Enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend ahead of you guys. And thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe. Tell us about the beta features that we tested here, if that makes sense.
There's our magic button gone. There we go.
Oh, nice color. Nice color. Not aligned with branding, but we'll update it.
It's not aligned, is it?
We'll fix it. We'll fix it for the next one. Cool. Thank you all. Have a nice rest of the day, and see you all soon. Or meetups and everyone else. Bye-bye.